and I'll be hosting this episode of Talking with Famous People. Not really an episode as it is a live stream. More of a live stream than an episode. But the point is, I'm Eric and I'll be hosting it. I've got some activities, an activity or two in mind here. There's a turkey over there. See it? That's the turkey. Hi, G. But that's not what we're dealing with today. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about turkeys. Okay? I'm not coming to get you, you dumb bird. Alright. So I've decided that I'm doing this backwards in the pond. Turkey. Turkeys are much less problematic than peacocks. They might be approximately the same size, but peacocks are a pain in the ass, whereas turkeys are pretty chill, and they're also quite skittish. Like, unlike peacocks that come around and try to get you to give them food, the turkeys know that they're prey. At any time, somebody can shoot them. No swans around here. I don't know why I have this jacket on. It's not cold. But it is. It was cold earlier, but it's not anymore. It wasn't cold. It was just a little chilly. I guess I wasn't thinking about the fact that the weather is not the same as it was then. It's later in the day now. So, I am planning on mixing some mortar and then getting like a big rock to put on top of the mortar. For example, this big rock. I think, like I said, I think I've been doing this backwards. I need to start from the bottom and work my way up. This is a perfect rock to start the bottom with. Let me just set it down right here for now. But I just wanted to show you that I have the perfect rock right there. And then I'll try to find rocks that match up quite closely with that, mortar them in as well. And then I'll go through the cracks with, why are there so many mosquitoes all of a sudden? Where do all these skeets come from? Let me see what Fly Guy's saying. Well, apparently black swans are frequently homosexual. The black swan will reproduce briefly with a female. After the baby swans are born, the black swan's male partner returns and kicks the female out. That's weird. I'm not really repurposing my patio rock at all because the only ones I'm getting are these extra ones over here. Like this thing goes like this, you know, choo, right? But then it's got all these extra ones over here. They just had extras, so they left them over there. So I'm just using that. I've been watering the plants twice a day. But I think they're done with their morning water Capilla, so we wanted to drink from the hose getting a little late. So I just turned it off. You can see Capilla under there, under the bushes. Perhaps you can. You see your tail. I'm excited for it too. But, you know, I'm not going to get a whole lot done today because, very simple reason. I'm not on Adderall. A Zakuji? I've never heard of a Zakuji. So, no, I'm not making it. Unless I make it accidentally. You want to go inside? No? Yes? Okay. The cat was being indecisive about whether he wanted to go inside. It turned out he did want to go inside. Alright, so we're gonna make a little bit of, I could drink a real soda if I wanted. This is LaCroix. It doesn't have any sugar in it. I'm trying to cut out sugar for my dad, or at least cut way back. So this is a better way to get my can of drink without any sugar than any alternative I can think of, really. I am your neighbor, Unc, says Aryan Mib. I doubt it. I live in a pretty small neighborhood, but it's possible. I'm gonna smoke this cigarette and then I'm gonna actually get started on the project here, which is to just put down some mortar and the bottom rock for the pond. Not a big job, but you know, when I don't have any Adderall, I'm a little bit slow to get started on things. Live is about squeezing until fresh milk comes out. Life is about squeezing until fresh milk comes out? Squeezing what? I mean, the only way you're going to get fresh milk out of something is if you're squeezing only titties. This is good mixed with vodka, LaCroix. I don't drink alcohol anymore, but take your word for it. What is bad mixed with vodka? Um, milk. Milk and vodka don't go very well together. Marcin Merrick is from Poland. Hello, Marcin Merrick. Welcome to America. That's where I live. Land of Americans. Okay, so Young Kim says, God, you old. Milk sounds good. Isn't that a Moscow mule? Or White Russian? Maybe. American ain't truly free. Some of us are. Like me. Freedom and liberty are different things, you know. Liberty is the absence of constraint preventing you from doing something. Freedom is the capacity to exercise your liberty, you know, more freely, more than less. So, you know, as far as freedom goes, some Americans have more freedom than others because we have more resources and more capacity to do things. But presumably, or at least officially, technically, we all have the same amount of liberty. Convicted felons lose some rights, but by and large. Am I a believer in God? Yeah, I'm a Christian. What about you, young Kim? Why so much restriction on what you can do or own? How am I being restricted on what I can do or own? Who's restricting me from doing anything? Or owning whatever I want? I mean, there are some limitations on weapons that you can own, but less so than most countries. Alright, you know what? Before we even get started on this thing, no trouble, I don't want to watch you eat again. I've already watched you eat multiple times. This cat. Okay, okay, fine. Go eat then. You horrible cat. This horrible cat is a horrible cat, needless to say. He sheds as much as 1,000 regular cats put together. So I comb him while he's eating, and this helps prevent me from having to vacuum up all this hair later, or pick it up before I vacuum, more accurately. I try not to vacuum up a bunch of cat hair, if possible. But this cat sheds so much. Oh my God, he sheds so much. It's ridiculous. Like, how does he generate all of this hair all the time? I guess he's why he eats a lot. Look at that. Look at that. And this is like, you know, I comb him multiple times a day, and it's always like that. How can he still have hair, even, with all the combings I've done? Allah can suck it. That's what I have to say about Allah. But more than that, I have to say the following. Muhammad can suck it. Okay, Allah, that might just be their name for regular God. If so, then obviously Allah doesn't have to suck it. If instead it's some different God, then obviously Allah can suck it too. But most importantly, Muhammad can suck it. Filling people's heads full of lies. They made up in a cave. Charismatic leaders, what a problem they are. That's why individualism is best. Less leadership. Hi, Dragonland. I'm in favor of less leadership. More sovereignty for individuals, you know. Okay, so before we go outside and mix a little mortar, pour a little meow. Oh, you're out of food. Yeah. And feed Capillo. There you go, sweetie. So Capillo was out of food. Had to feed her. Hi, Drake Space. Who's Drake Space? Let's go pull some bar rips. We need another beverage, too. And I could probably use a snack. I could eat something. Let me just do a quick snack. The quickest snack of all. Grab one of these too. Are you ready for the quickest snack of all? Well, I'm ready to show it to you. But first, I want to wash my hands. Trouble, you want new water? Okay. There you go. Okay, give the cat new water. Now I'm washing my hands. Okay, now I'm going to tell you all 6 of you, exactly what comprises a quick and easy snack. We're going to add a twist. Normally the quick and easy snack is just salami. About yay much. A cheese. Now I'm going to add a couple of these. Mmm. Right. Now I've had my snack. I'm going to pull up the chat on the big screen where I can read it. So as the title says, yes, I'm good. Lively Cut says vodka with a strong whiskey doesn't end well. No, I don't think so. I am good. I'm well. How about you, Adam Thunder 09? Or should I call you little youngster, since you're gonna call me grandpa? How you doing, little youngster? I'm about to pull some refreshing barn rips. You're grand, like the piano. Excellent news. So I'm gonna get my little scooping spoon. I've got my friend Firecrotch here, who's been in service for a while now and does a wonderful job consistently. I'd call this one of human resources' best accomplishments as far as hiring and firing goes. Firecrotch has turned out to be a wonderful addition to the team. This is what I call a lighter. Hi, Jenny Thong. I'm doing fine. My wife is upstairs. I don't know how she's doing, but I assume she's doing fine. I don't think Winston's mom is here, Jenny Thong. But here's my point. Morning only comes once a day. So let's enjoy it. You could say the same for afternoon and evening. They also only come once a day. Don't YouTube send warnings doing that, or are you allowed to? Sometimes, occasionally, like after a stream, they'll put limited ads because maybe it has too much profanity, or maybe because of this. Every once in a while, I suppose they could say, like, no ads allowed at all. But usually, like, I've never had any problem with it. Is a shorter answer to it. I've never had any problem. So, I think that YouTube recognizes that people who are live streaming are going to live their lives, and that sometimes that's going to mean drinking alcohol. Not for me, but sometimes it's going to mean smoking pot, and that's probably the most harmless thing that people could be doing on the stream as far as edgy stuff or whatever. I am in California, so it's legal. I don't know what their official position is on it, actually. But I think if they were going to be concerned about it, they'd I mean, they're not particularly, they're not concerned about it. I've not gotten any strikes or anything for doing this. And the one time that I got a clip to look at for why this thing had no ads allowed or limited ads allowed, it was a clip of me smoking a cigarette. Anyway, it doesn't affect the channel. It just affects whether or not I get to have revenue from a stream. Why don't they worry about the drunk guy passed out on the street? Yeah, I've heard stories of people like um, nodding off on stream, meaning they're on some kind of narcotic. Hi, Changarathu Sip Kadaman Vijay. Is that really your name? Changarathu Sipkadaman Vijay? Hello. That's quite a mouthful, I gotta tell you. Changarathu Sipkadaman Vijay. Yeah, my mom changed it to Chang. So you mean you normally are referred to as Chang instead of Changarathu. No, I mean the street like hobos. Nobody who's on stream and has a house is that bad off. No, I agree with you here, Lamb, but what I'm talking about is um, what kind of behavior they're gonna put up with on stream. You know, uh, I I think it is pretty obvious that they're not gonna put up with violence on stream. No, I get that. What we're talking about is what YouTube lets you get away with on stream. So I thought, if you are in fact just super drunk and live streaming, you're probably going to get away with that, right? Most foreigners don't say my full name; they just go gibberish. Well, I like your name, Changarathu Sivkataman Vijay. One time, because we used to have a person around here whose name was Kang Kang. Wait, Kang Kang. Wait, what was her name? Sarmapagoo was the end of it. I don't remember. So yeah, I don't think they tolerate violence on stream, and they probably wouldn't tolerate like shooting up on stream, you know. But I think they understand what's. I respect YouTube a lot actually. They seem to have very smart people in charge who do a good job of say differentiating. Yeah, there's a lot of weird rules on YouTube. For example, you can't minimize, listen to kids' songs, animations, in the mini player for some reason. Huh. Well, they might just not have gotten around to enabling it for that. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, YouTube's always changing, but little bit by little bit here and there. Because kids would get taken down weird rabbit holes with playlists. Hero Land was a problem. Huh. Well, I don't know. The thing, one thing that impressed me a great deal was during the COVID nonsense, I was a rare voice of reason in the wilds, arguing in favor of not freaking out, and everybody just calm down for a second. Let's not just go crazy with safety mania, Um, I never got any kind of censorship because what I was saying was correct. YouTube is destroying itself. You have to use an ID to confirm you're over 18 just to use the site starting the 13th. Really? Well, I mean, they probably let you use YouTube Kids, right? Regardless. I don't think it's destroying itself. I do think that YouTube is imperfect, but sheltering kids is bad for them, but I get it too, the instinct to protect them. Yeah. Check this out. Check what out? What am I checking out? I wonder. It's for some accounts, but for all accounts, an AI will detect what content you watch and determine if you're a kid or not. Oh. Hi, Vincent. I see, Hero Lamb. You've got a wrench account and you've got a non wrench account. You look the same. There's a new identity verification problem because of AI. Corporations all over the world need to change their security. No thanks, Vincent. But I greatly appreciate you coming in and immediately just telling me what to do. That's that's the way things go in the world, huh? Junaid was timed out. I didn't even see what Junaid did. I missed the action. Oh, I see. I'm on top chat. Well, the thing is, it's not even about whether or not I should smoke or not smoke. It's like, should people should people come in and tell me what to do randomly or what not to do? Just like shut the fuck up already. I wouldn't go up to you randomly and say, "Stop wearing those clothes. They look ugly," or something like that. you know, oh, it's for your own good. It's for your health. Shut the fuck up. Well, let me see what Junaid said. Hmm. I think that that's probably fine for him to say that. I get that that's a triggery word, but you probably were a little quick on the timeout button. It's like email anthrax, right? It's not a real thing because you can't email anthrax. I saw a good video the other day called Just Exist Bro, which is good advice for a lot of folks. I mean, it's great advice for me, but it's extremely hard for me too. What would serve me very well, what would enable me to be happier in general, would be to be present in the moment, thinking of the future, and, you know, doing stuff in the moment, just existing. But the reason it's good advice for me is because it's my weakest thing. It's like the weakest thing I can point to, really. I feel the need to talk about it and explain everything. Um, and anyway, but it is the case that my problems in life can be summed up as a lot of painful memories. Ooh, a tape measure. Well, what I'm saying is I'd be happier if I were in the present or future rather than the past because when I'm in the past, I'm always, almost always okay. Well, when I'm not happy or something, when I am having bad feelings, I'm regretting my misspent youth, you know, things I did, things I didn't do, most of the things I did, people I hurt, you know, stages of idiocy because I didn't understand very well. The benefit of being old is understanding. The harms of being old is that you understand how how much you failed prior to now. Well, I mean, for example, I watched this a little bit of this video the other day that I made of Route 66 in New Mexico, and oh my God, I was pretentious. It was just like the most pretentious sounding shit. I just wish I could go back and smack me, you know, just slap me in the face. I'm much more, I'm much, I'm a much better YouTuber now. But of course, now there's live streaming. There didn't used to be live streaming, and um, still, so many mistakes artistically. This is just to talk about things that are not painful. I mean, sounding like, I mean, how do you want me to be more specific about what I mean when I say pretentious? Do you want to watch the video? If you channel search Route 66, I think that's what I did to find it. Uh, or it might be New Mexico. Uh, you could watch it yourself and see. I don't. I don't feel like reenacting the pretentiousness because I. It hurts. It hurts my heart that it happened. But I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna edit the record, so to speak. Pretentious means like, yeah, self-important, or you know, like I use the term identity build, like to refer to as self developing an identity, and the changing qualities of an identity in the same parts of an identity is across time. And I just wanted to slap myself in the face across the board. It was full of tone problems too, like ma 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 ma. It just, oh god. Yeah, well, pretentious comes from the idea of saying things with a pretense. Yeah, I'd say it was an FE problem. FE mistakes. FE mistakes give me the shame shivers, you know. And unfortunately, I'm SI conscious, so I end up spending a fair amount of time in my memories, and those are bad times. The time I spend in my memory is bad times, almost always. I do have some good memories, but I don't get anything from them. Unlike the bad memories, which give me shame shivers, or like guilt or whatever, um, good memories don't really do anything. So it's fucked up, but it's how it is. I don't know. Instead of being perceived, I mean, I don't, I wouldn't have perceived that guy as likable or anything. I'd just be like, I'd roll my eyes. Well, it's things that make you roll your eyes kind of because the person's being pedantic or whatever, or they're being like somebody who makes me roll my eyes a lot is Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's his middle name? DeGrasse or something? Anyway, he makes me roll my eyes a lot because he's so excited about everything. That wouldn't come across as pretentious, but it is like a pretense in the sense that he can't possibly really be that excited about things he already knows and is explaining to people. You think he's an FE Dom? I don't know what he is, but I cannot stand him. So there are different people in media who do different things. I that's occurred to me in the past as well, Alec. So we're not we're not on different pages. Um, so there are different, if you think about various media figures and the ways they interact with people, there are some who interact with people regardless of whether they're interviewing them or they're say hosting a show or something in a very calm and pleasing way. Like, for example, um, Carson Daly. Carson Daly, who I think is probably an INFJ or an ISFJ, I don't know which, but probably IN. He's got a very calming presence. Contrast him with Howie Mandel, who does a better job of conveying excitement, conveying that he himself is genuinely excited or engaged, fully engaged with the thing. Hi, Coco Cabana. Music and passion are always in fashion at the Copa. Did you know that? Coco Cabana? Were you aware about music and fashion? Cabana Cabana? Coco Cabana Cabana. Can you ban a Coco Cabana? Don't go banning Coco Cabana just because Coco Cabana's name is Cabana. Alright, so we're not going to ban you just because your name's Coco Cabana. Just a place near you? Coco Cabana, huh? That's cool. I wonder what cabana means. It's a Spanish word for something. You think it means cabin? It could mean cabin. I feel so lazy right now. I could go mix some mortar. Let's go. Let's go do it. It'll be better to do it than not to do it. I do have to go get cigarettes at some point today. I currently have 3 left. That's not a lot of cigarettes left, but it's more than 0, which is the important thing. When we get to 0, then we have a problem. Whoa, you guys need to stop spinning around. It means cabin. Cool. I wonder what the Copa Cabana means. What's Copa? Is that like... Copa. Cup. Copa Cabana is cup cabin. Copa Cabana is like chocolate cabin. Do you self-identify as a chocolate cabin? Bungalow means a low-altitude butthole. I don't think that's what bungalow means. I think you got that one wrong, I said. You may be looking at the wrong dictionary. Alright, so in the past, I have had a problem with mixing the mortar or concrete or whatever, and the problem is always the same. I get too much stuff in there, and then with the water, I can't have trouble mixing it around. I should probably mix it by hand first. Which reminds me I should put on some gloves first. Which reminds me I should smoke a cigarette before we put on gloves. And I'm gonna have to go get that little concrete meower from down there. I guess you'd call it a spade? No. A trowel? Could be called a trowel. I don't know what it's called. But I'll show you it when I find it. So we're gonna get this thing. You guys, this. I don't know what this is called. A spreader? A trowel? I just don't know what it's called. It's not like I'm forgetting the word. I don't know what it's called. You'd say trowel? You're chilling in New York, huh? My wife's from New York. Long Island, more specifically. And it looks like we're going with trowel. Or at least No Sage says trowel. What do you say, Fly Guy? What is this thing called? Are you going to go trowel as well? A cheese knife. I put on the tone, affective commenter, narrator. Right. ChatGPT says it's a square-end trowel. Okay, well, trowel it is then. Hi, Kenya. Patrick 123rd. Welcome to America. We're also extending a metaphor, so maybe that's why you went too. I don't know. Yeah, regardless, the point is, my past is full of mistakes and failures. I wish I had written a different book up until now, you know? But it's also the case that I'm highly sensitive to even small failures. Uh, even these days, like I really have a cringe memory about getting mad at the title and person with the realtor. Because it didn't, it's like, I don't know. I was upset and the thing is, I had a very clear desire to know for sure what was going on when we were going to get the money, and I couldn't get a definitive answer at all, and then it turned out to be Tuesday instead of Monday, which ended up making no difference, but could have made a big difference. It made a big difference in how my mindset was. I think he was quite the good genius, Coco Cabana, Richard Feynman. And I think, I also think his personality type was ENTP, a cement spatula. Cement spatula is a good name for it. You recently disabled what? Yourself? Do you know what book you desire instead? What book I wrote? Yeah, I mean, I wish that my past, my history. No, I'm not gonna help you start a small business, Patrick. 123. Jesus. Oh, I don't know how to do that. I don't know anything about that. I did have a small business for a couple of years, but I am not a good businessman. businessman, a businessman has to be very, like, money first about everything. Okay, well, you're not using a good way of going about this. If you wanted to, like, pimp your channel or something successfully, you have to, you know, develop some rapport with people over time, and then try to exploit that rapport. you know, you're coming so obviously with self-serving. Yes. Why do you have to show ID for an alcoholic beer? Well, because some of it has a teeny bit of alcohol in it, like this. Contains like less than 0.5%. But the other reason is they don't want teenagers switching beers out and buying what appears to be a box of non-alcoholic beers, but they've actually switched out the Heineken Zeros for regular Heineken, like that. They don't want that to happen, and they'd have to. I mean, they could prevent it by just checking every time that somebody bought a six-pack of beer, looking to make sure that all the beers inside are the same as the name on the box. I think wanting a different book isn't the same as wishing this one wasn't written this way. Like, I don't mind at all the various plot points that the book has provided this main character Eric to work with. I just don't like the character very much. I don't like the way the decisions he made. I don't like the way he dealt with this person, that person, the other person, etc. I get that my current wisdom regarding these kind of things stems from those failures, but I still wish I didn't have to make those failures so that I wouldn't have a head full of bad memories. I used to be like that kind of when I was on the prowl. I'd meet a girl and with the idea of getting with them, but I guess every young dude does not the same in business. Um, yeah, I don't think this is a pretentious extension of the book metaphor. So you mainly have regrets regarding your reactions or actions. I mean, I don't think of my things as so much as being reactions because that's an implication of reduced agency. You know, I'm responsible for what I do and say, whether it's a reaction or not. So I reacted to something Rachel said by criticizing her, and she was upset about it, justly, because there's really not any room for criticism um, in a relationship. It's not like if if there's some kind of boundary crossing or something, then that's fine. That justifies critique, right? But in the absence of that, there really shouldn't be any criticism back and forth between people in a relationship. What's up, Daddy? You didn't brush your beard today. Um, there, is that better? I have such a weird relationship with extroverted sensing. What is it that brings you to take those initial actions that you eventually go on to regret? Uh, various various things, various reasons. Sometimes it's like just FE mistakes, you know, doing stuff that I think is gonna make me seem cool, but it's actually just me being shitty and shittily dumb. It doesn't matter. It's called overthinking. There's no benefit from it. We should be outwardly stoic as much as possible for the sake of others. Then, when we do react against our will, we respond to legitimate circumstances. Well, I have, it's like what happened with the realtor when I got mad and I didn't yell at the realtor per se. I didn't yell at anybody really. I just was mad and so you're saying meh 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 like that. That was an action that I took because I had expectations of not one outcome or the other, but certainty about what outcome was going to happen sooner in the day. I was originally planning on not even leaving for Vegas until we found out whether the money was coming through today or tomorrow because we were pretty tapped out at that point, and we've got a bunch of we got the whole portfolio almost in kind of in probate for some reason. So yeah, I don't know what to do about that. But I should call Delilah and talk to her about that. Find out what's going on. She should have had that hearing by now. Well, apologize to the person. Well, I could apologize. I discovered your videos today. They seem awesome. I'm an ISFJ. I don't know much about MBTI. What can you tell me about MBTI? Well, I can tell you that cognitive functions are essentially the ways in which we pay attention, and that there are a finite set of ways of paying attention. You can know, you can act, you can interface, or you could deliberate. Good example of the difference between knowledge and deliberation is knowledge is that which takes no time at all. Like 1492 is when Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That's knowledge that I know instantaneously. It's one kind of knowledge, the kind that you remember things that you've learned. Why is there both a wasp and a bee right there? Hi, simple girl. But the other kind of knowledge is intuition, knowing without, not by referencing your memories, but like just by your gut. Like, can you see them? So the point is that if you're an ISFJ, you're a knower, what I'd call an experiential knower, which is you know how your body feels, you know when you're tired and you're um, hungry and thirsty and stuff, and you really do a good job of planning out the day. You probably start off the day going, okay, what do I have in line for today? First, I got meow, and then I'm gonna do meow, and then meow, and you kind of keep going over those things in your head a lot. But you also are primarily a communicative type, even though introverted sensing is not a communicative function implicitly. Like I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that people typically don't come in and say they're ISFJ. They typically come in and say they're. You really can't trust those tests, Louise Williams. You really can't trust them. But sometimes they'll get some people right, you know. Like C.S. Joseph's online test got me right. Pretty much every online test gets me right. Like, why are you being snarky to Louise Williams? There's absolutely no reason for that. He's FE polar. You're going to have to cut him some slack, Louise Williams. He's FE polar. Okay. So, I'm trying to motivate to mix a little bit of mortar to do this thing. I just need to do it already. But I have this horrible relationship with extroverted sensing. Now I want to make a thing for my name. No Sage says Eric is especially right in characterization. But now I want to figure out what I think it should be. Eric, let's see. Everyone's retarded in Canada? That's too long. Everyone's retarded in Canada. You went with China. Ashley, thank you for your contribution. That's really helpful. All right, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put. I got a small scooper this time. I'm learning how to do things as I go along. We got a small scooper. We're gonna do 8 small scoops of sand, 2 cement, and 1 of lime. Okay? 8 small scoops of sand. Hopefully, there's gonna be too much. Okay, I'm gonna do four scoops of sand, 1 scoop of cement, half a scoop of lime. Okay, that's 1 scoop of sand. Two scoops of sand. Three scoops of sand. 4 scoops of sand. Okay, we got 4 scoops of sand. Now we're gonna get 1 scoop of concrete. Let me put some gloves on. Glove number 1. Glove number 2. Good. All right. Now, where's my scooper? My scooper's over here. I got these gloves put on because I want to break up these clumps of it in here. So this is a clump of it, right? I'm going to break that up a bit. cracking. Get more of a true scoop. A truer scoop is always better than a falser scoop. Alright, let's scoop it up. Let's give her a scoopage. So that's not quite a full scoop. Needs a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay. That's 1 scoop of cement. Now we need half a scoop of lime. This seems like about half a scoop. But I'll put the scoop in. Now this should be a manageable amount of mortar to deal with. I'm going to turn you around, change cameras, so I can see if anything's being told to me in the chat. I have to take off my glove to push the phone? Alright. There. Oh. There. Okay. Get him, Alec. Who's Alec getting? By definition, it's random. So it's not that overpowered. For him to be correct about random things. Never tested ESTP in several, put thousands in researching before, just for good knowledge. Eric is the one that has impressed me the most. Accuracy there. It's not that overpowered for him to be correct about random things. Thanks, Alec. Thanks, appreciate that. Fly guy. Alright. It was probably one of the many videos in which I make mortar, as I'm doing right now, for your entertainment pleasure. Okay, as you may or may not know, it's insufficient to just mix these dry ingredients together. That won't do. It requires some water. So let's put a little water in. And you got to be real careful, because you can put in too much water very easily. It doesn't require that much water. Alright, let's start with that. Now, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to breathe the dust from this, so try not to breathe the dust. This needs a little more water. Okay. Come on, hose. It's your time to shine. No? Let's try it now. leave this on a little bit. Okay. So you want to try not to get concrete in your eye, as a general rule. This is a little bit wet, this mortar. So I'm going to put a little bit more cement. A little bit more lime. That looks just about perfect. Alright. So now I'm going to do a little bit of mixing here with this thing to make sure I got all the corners and everything. Alright, good. Now let's take this down there. I'll be right back. Okay. Now I have to go get one of these big rocks. I think I'll do this one first, if I can. So it's a way of explaining how individuals, to some extent at least, are an expression of their attentional priorities. Which, like handedness, like right or left-handedness, is kind of implicit lifelong thing. Okay. Move this. We have to sweep this up. Let's put this here. You might say, that seems like a dangerous spot to put that, Eric. Well, you know how it goes. This is going to fit. Make sure before we do anything else. Yeah, that's going to fit just fine. Right, like that. Hold on. Let's get it over this way. Okay. So that's where I'm going to put the mortar. Right there. You know, people think about cognitive functions or whatever, typology. They think, well, everybody pays attention in all of those ways. But what just happened to me is a good example of how reality works. I was gonna, where's my little thing? My trowel. Alright, fine. Come on, big scooper. You're my big scooper. Okay. Now I gotta smooth it out. This will be fine because it's already concrete underneath here. It looks like dirt, but it's not dirt. It's concrete. Well, I didn't exactly place the mortar very well, but I need it weighted like this, and I need to put something underneath here. Okay. Oh! because I didn't get anything on that side. Still gonna keep it there, cracked and all. I'm gonna need another piece over here. Is this stand onable now? Yeah, I guess. Okay. There. That's fine. I'm not gonna get all upset about a crack down the middle of it. If I had more mortar in here, I could start doing around it. Around it's gonna take different sized rocks and stuff, so I could even well, I've got a lot of possible things I could do. Okay. Alright. One time I was out here working for a while, trying to live stream. My phone was sound like that, and it got too hot. I said it had to shut down and rest for a while. Oh, they're scrolls, huh? Okay, I got my beer. The TikTok, huh? I've heard of this place. The so-called TikTok. Sounds like they're trying to run a business based on sounding like the product called Tic Tacs. What, you want me to put up more seeds? I think maybe the blue jay's talking to me. Are you sure it's not a breath mint? Used to be a dancing app. Like, hey, look, I'm on TikTok. I'm dancing around. Look at me dancing on top of the ground. Like that. Is it that high quality? Or less? Less high quality than that, or that high quality? There you go. Squawky bird. The squawky bird gets the sunflower seeds. That's what they say. Just like squeaky wheels get grease. I mean, of course, the musical grease. Hose water. Sometimes hose water is a real delight. You know? Sometimes hose water is the most quenching water of all. I saw on the weather thing at the bottom of the computer today that temps are forecasted to drop. So that's fine. It's not very hot right now, even. Well, I never would drink like the first push of water out of a hose. I'd been using that hose, so it's fine. Rachel said she didn't know what an earwig was. I said a pincher bug. She still seemed a little uncertain. The pincher bug's pinchers can't hurt you. If they were giant pincher bugs, like, what if it was, a 6-pound earwig? Well, that could probably hurt you. What if it was like 6 foot long, 2 foot wide across, and when it's walking on its legs, it's like 4 feet up off the ground, but it can stand on its hind legs and it reaches 10 feet tall. 10 feet long. Would that pincher bug hurt you? A pincher bug pinched your tongue? Were you trying to kiss a pincher bug, fly guy? I guess they skipped that part of sex ed class. Never French kiss a earwig. I'm describing the biggest arthropod ever existed. It was in my drink. Is that what earwigs are? They're arthropods? What else is an arthropod? Like scorpion and stuff? Inquiring Eric's want to know. Well, I got a little something done. Got a lot of stuff still to do in the pond, but I have to wait. Once that thing's dried in place, then I can work down there more freely. It's unfortunate that I split it in two, but there's another half to the thing that I could just put on top of it. That thing was cut in half horizontally. The biggest arthropod that ever existed. That's the award I won in grammar school. I was shocked to get it. I said, I'm the biggest arthropod that ever existed? He said, yes, Eric, you are. Congratulations. I was, made me happy for like a day or two. This is imported from Mexico. Ah, centipedes. That makes sense. Centipedes are relatives of earwigs. That makes sense. They have pinchers on the back of them too, don't they? I like the. I like it when creatures have rear-mounted weapons, like the skunk, a centipede, or earwig. Horses kick, bee sting. I think it's a smart strategy because you can attack while running away. Now, what bees don't know is they're on a kamikaze mission. If they're going to sting a person, I don't know. Maybe they can sting other things and not have their stinger come out. Like, what if a bee stung an ant? Would a stinger come out? I don't think so. Do bees sting ants? They might. Nobody knows. And nobody ever will know. Because it's one of the great mysteries that mere mortals aren't allowed to access. Okay, let's go inside for a bit. Next time I mix mortar, I want to make it a little wet. I think I'm mixing it a little too dry, maybe. And then I'll just kind of pour it all around the big rock. I'll probably put a little bit of silicone on top of that top big rock and put its matched pair on top of it. It'll make the pond more shallow in that area, but um, But then I won't see the crack. Is that a caterpillar? Or a stick? It's not moving. It might be a stick. Okay. Insects are the most formidable enemy in the animal kingdom. Does a bee's stinger come out when it stings an ant? You know what's not our enemy, fly guy? The beautiful ladybug. And that's one to grow on. Also, the extremely pious praying mantis. And that's another one to grow on. Okay. Why I have this on. Some bees can sting many times and the stinger doesn't come out. Maybe just human skin is very grabby. You thought about that? Maybe that's why. It grabs the stinger and pulls it out. Some bees, they keep coming back from fights. I don't know why all the other bees are dead. You must not have stung him. I stung the shit out of them. I'm just one of those bees where the stinger's a little bit stronger than you weak stinger bees. Okay. So, I'm going to end the stream now, take a shower, and then head into town to get a few things. And I'll see you all later.